Conditions aren't looking very good for tomorrow, are they? Is this affecting selection for you at all?
Oh, I think it could impact Sydney's selection. They've gone in with a pretty big team over the last couple of weeks. So for us, we know our strengths are contested possession and ground ball, so I'm comfortable with where our selection's at.
How do you feel about the sense of anticipation that's going to be your first win? Is that building within the group?
Our anticipation every week is high, Rich. We're just looking forward to representing our, particularly an Indigenous round, coming out and continuing to improve as a team tomorrow.
Is there a sense of occasion as well, because it's Indigenous round, Erin Phillips 50th? Let's put it this way, there's almost this burden to make sure you do everything right.
I think there's exciting opportunities tomorrow, and we as a football club have always had rich Indigenous community and culture amongst our club, and I'm so excited to celebrate part of that tomorrow.
What are you doing ruck-wise? Where does that change for you this week?
Yeah, I think you would have seen in the Carlton game last week, Olivia Levicki did a really fantastic job teaming up with Liz McGrath against probably the best ruck in the competition in Bree Moody. So you can expect Levicki to spend some more time in the ruck again this week.
Her backup?
You'll see.
Coming up against another expansion club at home for Erin's 50th, do you feel as though this could be the win that you guys have finally been hoping for?
We've approached every single round to be as highly competitive as we can, and I think we've put ourselves in a winning position in the previous 3 weeks. We'll look to do the same again tomorrow.
Everyone hates sort of putting expectations on where you might be at the start of the year. Now you've played a few games. Do you think that you're at a level as a club, as a team, where you thought you'd be? Better, worse? Where do you think you're at?
I think for myself as senior coach, I look to what's our attitude when things are going well, which typically in any environment, you know, people's attitudes when things are going well, particularly in pre-season, is always really good. It's a real test of your culture and your real attitude when things don't go your way. And I can't fault our group in that sense. They've been absolutely fantastic. You know, they turn up, they learn, they show progression. I think anyone that's watched our first 3 games has seen real growth and progression across those games. And so, as I said, we look to do that again tomorrow.
What is it that sort of is driving them to have that sort of standard that you've set there?
Yeah.
Given that, I mean, it's your first year at your expansion club, it would be easy to say it's a free hit for us every week.
I think you just look at the individuals and the team as a group, and what our culture is and what we're building is very much around growth mindset and constant improvement. And as a club, it's chasing greatness. And so to chase greatness, you've got to be better every week. And, you know, there's times where you get comfortable as an athlete and you know, it's just pushing those boundaries every week and every session that you turn up to. And that's what I'm seeing in our group. And I think any Port Adelaide person will see that when they run out each time is constant improvement and the right attitude. And that's what I'm seeing amongst our group.
What's the answer to not being a team that scores by surges but scores regularly? Have you got an answer to that yet?
I think we build consistency and connection each game we play, Rooch. It's one challenge of being the expansion team and having 14 weeks together now is how you build that connection offensively. And I think you can see that progressing and developing each quarter.
Is there an answer to it though? Because if you're good enough to do it in one quarter and blitz an opponent, how do you make yourself do it more often?
I think it's paying respect to the opposition that you play. I think what you're referencing is Carlton's last quarter in particular. They threw a few different things in the mix. They put some more numbers around the ball and they beat us in stoppage in that last quarter. And so for me as senior coach, it's really teaching our group to maintain that belief and stick to the task. And a lot of it is around belief and bravery when you're under the pump. And certainly for a young group, that's part of our learning.
Did you like your setup in attack in the end?
Last week?
With Phillips there.
Erin was fantastic last week. I think if you watch through a TV screen, you're probably underestimating, undervaluing what she brought to our group in the forward line last week. She's fantastic, and not just from her decision-making with the footy, what she's doing off the ball and her leadership was brilliant.
Erin said yesterday that she didn't want to make a big deal of her 50th. What about for you guys? Does the team sort of want to make sure that they get a win for her?
I think it's both for tomorrow. It's certainly Indigenous round is at the forefront, and Erin has made a point of saying she wants Indigenous round to be at the front of mind for everyone tomorrow, and so we'll do that, and we'll also know it's our captain's 50th game.
What do you think? You know, what are your thoughts around Erin Phillips, the footballer as well as the person you now know?
I've spoken a lot about Erin, I think, over this time, and, you know, fantastic person, fantastic leader, and, you know, we spoke a little bit last night with the group just around, how much more there is for her at Port Adelaide, and also the current legacy that she's building is unmatched in my opinion. So yeah, it's a privilege to coach Erin.
Do you think she feels a certain pressure this weekend? It's her 50th, it's Indigenous round, it's at home. Do you think she feels that pressure as well?
I think any level of pressure for anyone in life is largely external. You can build pressure in your own mind, but I think with the experience Erin has, she understands what's in front of her, so not really. No.
Playing Sydney, a lot of us probably haven't been able to watch a lot of Sydney's games. Where do you see are there big threats, and how will you beat them tomorrow?
They like to move the ball, and they're pretty open to talking about how brave they want to move the footy. So I think if you go back and watch any of Sydney's games, you'll see that.
How do you feel about favouritism that you're expected to win?
It's probably similar to external pressure. Those are other people's opinions. We control what we control. So whether we're called favourites or underdogs, that's up to people outside of what we do. Our focus is how we get better each week and continue to believe in ourselves and improve each quarter.
Okay, externally we expect you to win. Internally, what do you expect?
I genuinely expect application of attitude and effort and bravery across 4 quarters.
Lauren, we just spoke to Doc down at the Crows and sort of started speaking about.
How is he?
Yeah, he's good. He actually said he's really excited for this weekend. You guys
Who
can
do
catch
they
up in
play?
your own time, I guess. Collingwood.
Yeah, okay, that'd be a good one.
I mean, we can go through the Crows game if you want, but just holistically, he's talking about the AFLW and the trajectory that it's on. What have you seen from as someone that's been around the league this year, given you've had more players come in with the expansion, but obviously the players that are in have had more time to grow? What have you seen for the standard of AFLW this year?
Certainly seen some ripping games of football. I do think there's a gap between the teams like Melbourne and Brisbane who've held a core list of players over largely the whole existence. Brisbane certainly, and you ask Craig Starcevich, he'll tell you how well Brisbane have been rated by expansion in previous years, but I think for probably 4 or 5 seasons now, Brizzy and Melbourne have held a really core group of players, and you can see how much that benefits you. And then I think you can see some real competitiveness across the rest of the competition, and Aruch is asking me about tipping and favourites and underdogs. I think, it's probably a difficult competition at times to tip because you expect every team to turn up and compete every week.
What about the prospect in the future? How far away do you think we are from having everyone play everyone once?
I'll leave that up to the AFL, mate.
Is that something that you think that the competition needs, or it doesn't matter for now?
Oh, I think every person involved in W wants to play every team once. Yeah.
Lauren, you're a hard tackling team.
We are.
Are you rewarded for your tackling? Or is it holding the ball calls in AFLW? Are they just held too long?
I guess it's based on each game and what's going on in each game. For us, we apply ourselves really well, and I'm really proud of the fact that in each game we play, we win our fair share of possession, and we also are the number 1 tackling team in the comp. That's something I'm really proud of, and it's a controllable that we control, and looking forward to maintaining that number 1 position throughout the season.
Are you being rewarded for it?
We can only do what we can do, Roach.
Another rising star this week as well, Hannah Ewings. You must be pleased with her development after only 3 games.
Yeah, Hannah's another kid who we've got a couple on our list who've come from really regional SA areas. So Hannah's from Whyalla. She's working, doing an apprenticeship as a chef. And a young kid who's probably been highly touted for a couple of years now and performed exceptionally well at SANFL level for North Adelaide. And to see her, just the way she goes about it, she's pretty quietly spoken, Hannah, but certainly on the field she lets her actions do the talking. Really strong, smart with the footy too, and so we know she'll continue to get better.
Are you foreseeing, I know selection will come out tonight, but any tidbits for her? Will we have changes, do you think?
Well, certainly with Liz McGrath going out, you'll see a change to the side, yeah.